I have a very important announcement that I'd like to bring to your attention on behalf of Council, our COVID-19 task force, as well as staff, we who serve as your shepherds and leaders. The task force and council and staff, we have been working very diligently together in efforts to meet the church's worship needs with as little risk to the congregation that we can reasonably manage. As a result of this work together in cooperation with the Synod office here in the Rocky Mountain Synod, as well as Governor Polis and his task force, we have made an exciting step forward. And that is that we will be celebrating our first outdoor in-person worship service on Sunday, July 5th, a service that will begin at 9 a.m. with the intent of continuing this outdoor worship service experience each following Sunday throughout at least the summer. And so it is very important that you know and take personal notice of several different health conscious points regarding these worship services. All of this material will be also published written in case you need to refer back to it and are not able to find this video at a later time. But please do listen carefully. Again, July 5th, 9 a.m., outdoor in-person worship service. And so this first section here, for the safekeeping and love of your neighbor. This opportunity for gathering in person, even though it will be outdoors, is not a COVID risk-free environment. Anyone not feeling healthy and or vulnerable to COVID infection as outlined by the CDC, and or not wanting to risk gathering within a crowd, should not attend. Second, the wearing of a face mask over both the mouth and nose will be required at all times for all persons over the age of 3 years old. Please bring your own mask, but we will have a limited amount of clean masks available should anyone forget. Third, in addition to wearing a mask, maintaining a social distance of no less than 6 feet between family units will also be expected. Though we deeply miss you, all church staff will be maintaining strict social distance around themselves, and we will also be wearing a mask. Finally, under this section, anyone over the age of 3 years old, not willing or not able to keep a face mask over both their mouth and nose, or not willing or able to maintain these social distancing stipulations, should not attend. I say that with a very heavy heart, because I do love you and I do miss you, and I do want you to be able to worship with the community. But again, this is for the safekeeping and love of all our neighbors. Now, for some logistics regarding this outdoor worship service. This worship service will be recorded and emailed to the congregation, as well as posted to our Facebook page, just as we have done in previous weeks. Worship service will take place in the parking lot, just adjacent to the office wing on the south end of the building. Parking will be limited to the north parking lots near St. Luke's, along also the west side of Broadway facing south, and at the farthest entrance on the south side of the campus. Each person will need to bring your own chair to sit on, and the parking lot spaces themselves will be organized in such a way to keep social distancing between family units. We will use the declining slope of the parking lot as a natural theater-style seating, facing downhill toward the sanctuary for the best visibility and acoustics that we are able to manage. We also recognize, however, that the ability to see and hear may be an issue for some attendees. We will try to do the best that we can in ways that we can safely manage. Please consider your hearing and your seeing abilities when making your space selection among those that are available. There will not be a bulletin or a projection of the service. All of the scriptures, the prayers, and musical information will be emailed out to you prior to Sunday morning, so please bring it with you. Also, access to the inside of the church building, including the restrooms, will be restricted to urgent needs only. A staff member will be available to help when needed with this. And finally, as also it is going to be Sunday mornings at 9 during the summer, it will likely be warm by 9 a.m. So skin protection and personal hydration are recommended. And in the event of inclement weather on a Sunday morning, worship will be done via our media. We will try to communicate that decision to you with as much advance notice as possible. Now, about the way that we will be worshiping our Lord. We will have a shortened service to minimize exposure time, about 45 to 50 minutes. We will be celebrating Holy Communion together each week. You will need, however, to continue to bring your own bread and wine or grape juice for your own family to use. Either I or Pastor Gail will continue to preside at the altar outside and bless these elements, and then the congregants will commune yourselves. Offering plates will not be passed. However, online giving or the church mailbox will continue to be remaining available for you and for all of our offerings to God. And then lastly, worship leaders will explain about music and the invited congregational response at each opportunity in the worship service. Again, we are all struggling to adjust and thrive forward during this COVID pandemic. We do this in the best way possible when we do so in love and care for one another and celebrating our shared love for God. This is about both worshiping God together, and about worshiping God together with as much safe precautions as we can manage while trying to keep the risks of this terrible infection from spreading further. And so this is about also loving and caring for the neighbor as Christ commands us to. Please, if you have any questions or concerns, reach out to me or to Pastor Gail, any member of council, and so that we can meet you in your questions or your concerns. Truly, we all miss you and love you dearly, and thank you for your continued love and your support and your prayers for Christ Lutheran.